It is our bread and butter, they said. Mamelodi Sundowns have only won one game out of 5 total CAF group matches. A side that many thought would not see in a very long time. But it is the current reality as Mamelodi Sundowns find themselves in 3rd position in a group stage with 1 round of matches to go. Wow. What a turn of event. What a decline by Mamelodi Sundowns. On this video, we'll look at the last match which they played against St. Leo Lupopo, which ended in a 1-1 draw. We'll look at how the Melon, Khulumani Ndamane, performed so well and how he's slowly cementing that center back position together with Kekana. We'll also look at the technical application of Mamelodi Sundowns players and team to how they're approaching these matches. We'll also have a conversation around the system. You should remember these words used to be words that were famous during the consistency period of Mamelodi Sundowns, where the system was the focus. Regardless of which player was coming in, the system needed to work. Is there still a system in place? One can only wonder, and hope to hear from you on the comments on whether you think there's still a system in place at Mamelodi Sundowns, or it's just a pragmatic football as long as you win Champions League at all cost, even at a cost of your identity. So let's get into it. Khulumani Ndamane is the name to remember. The young lion stood as a wall for Mamelodi Sundowns in their 1-1 draw away in Congo, in a very hostile environment in Congo. And we know South African teams tend to struggle in Congo, with TP Mazembe giving them a lot of problems in the past. Now Lupopo. So Khulumani Ndamane obtained a rating of 7.0 out of 10. He was among the standout players for Mamelodi Sundowns. He was calm. He was confident in possession. He was the one to watch as Mamelodi Sundowns were building from the back, and with Ronan Williams in several occasions slotting in to that line and becoming an extra centre back for them to ensure that they have enough numbers to circulate the ball and build properly from the back to begin the identity or start the system. So Khulumani Ndamane, like we mentioned, that he was one of the standout players for Sundowns. The numbers also support him, as he had 1 shot in total in this game, and he played for 90 minutes. The shot that he had was off target, and he was able to touch the ball in the opposition box as well. That's good for a defender. He had a total of 57 touches, and his pass completion was also a good one at 80%. And his accurate passes in the final third he had 5. And his accurate long passes was disappointing, as he only had 7 successful out of 13. So that's an area which you could improve in. In terms of defense, he was involved in 8 duels. He won 3 of his 6 aerial duels. His ground duels, he was at 100%. He won all of them. And tackles won, he was at 100% as well. In terms of clearances, he had 7 and 1 critical interception. So that's how Ndamane stood out in this game and ensured that his team comes back with at least a point. Because had they lost the game, that would have been curtains for them. So, what did you make of Ndamane's contribution in this game? Do you think this draw with Sundowns signal a massive decline in the confidence of Sundowns, in the way they play, and how they used to dominate group stages? You knew that at this point, after 4 games, Mamelodi Sundowns have already qualified with 12 points. But now, after 5 games, they're sitting 3rd with 5 points and on the verge of being knocked out, because the only result that will save them is a win. Only a win will save Mamelodi Sundowns. So, let's go into the technical application of how Sundowns approached this game and how Lupopo approached it. So Mamelodi Sundowns approached this game in their traditional possession-based football and dominance. They played a very high line, with Williams playing as a super keeper, playing so high to be able to close the gap that the system leaves behind them, as Lupopo would look to exploit the space behind the defense. So that high line meant that they congest the midfield and make the passing lines between defense to attack so small that with sleek passes you can be able to unlock any defense, because the distance between your defenders and the strikers is so short. So most of the time Sundowns were defending with the line, the center line, as their defense, and Lupopo came with a strategy to defend in numbers and to be solid with their structure and how they defend. For the biggest time, they knew that they just need one chance and they'll be able to catch Mamelodi Sundowns on a counter. And if you remember from that game, they did that so well. They played similar ball before they scored the goal. They played a ball long to the right to counter, with the hope that the ball will be cut back to the left for a goal. On their first attempt, it wasn't successful. On the second attempt, the ball was played long over on the left side, 1-on-1 with Williams. The Lupopo player was not selfish. He laid it on the platter for the man who was making a late run and an early run on the other side. And it was the tap-in goal, 1-0 to Lupopo. Sundowns on the verge of being eliminated. Sundowns continued to play their game, remained calm, circulated the ball so well, but it was until the second half, through Jaden Adams, where Sundowns were able to get the equalizer from one of the shortest men on the pitch. Sundowns lacked that spirit of saying, we want this more. The spirit that kept them winning in Champions League. They lacked the experience of playing away at a Champions League match. They displayed a team that is disjointed as they attack the midfield and the defense was in different rhythms. But the experience of Thapelo Morena, Shalulile could also be seen to influence the game to some extent. So that's how both teams technically applied themselves. Now, let's look at the system. We asked the question, do you think there's still a system in this Mamelodi Sundowns team? So, what is this system? The system was a type of play that was created through the years with Pitso Msimang laying down the basics of the system and building a system on the back of two assistant coaches, Mancoba Mngqithi and Rulani Mkwena, and mentoring and ensuring that the system passes down to them as an identity which Sundowns has and play, which is shoe shine and piano. Quick, short passes and slick passes, playing in pockets and ensuring that they can be able to unlock any defense. And defending with the ball was the biggest part of the system. And having possession, not for the fun of it, but having possession to be able to first defend, then secondly to be able to control the tempo of the game and to be able to create chances by frustrating and starving the ball from the opposition. That was the system. Rulani Mkwena came and mastered the system as the foundation was there. And he added layers into the system in the form of a diamond that was played in one season, in the form of the chameleon football, which is a hybrid type of roles within the system. And Mancoba Mngqithi came as well and perfected the system by ensuring that he adds more goals to the system. His team was high scoring, but with any change and perfection, it also impacts the momentum and requires players to advance to be able to work with that system. Senior players were reluctant to perfect that system, and that sort of like divided the dressing room and impacted taking the system to that level. But all that looks like it was abandoned on this new project, where the system, where the identity of shoeshine and piano is starting to dwindle and you cannot identify it now. So that's how we break down the system. Would be interested to hear your thoughts on whether you think there's still a system, whether you think the work that was built and the foundation that was previously built, is the current team building on it? Is it taking it forward? Or we are judging them too harsh? Are Mamelodi Sundowns happy with how their team is currently playing? Does it matter at the end how you progress from the group stage, as long as at the end of the day you win? So, do share with us your thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe. Dango.